welcome to the Canvas Slam. This is an opportunity for us to just dive in and talk about Canvas, and we've got some very cool ideas and strategies to share and demonstrate for you so you can see how they can be put to use. My name's Taylor. Co-host today is none other than Trista. You want to introduce yourself, Trista?
Hi, I'm Trista Blosser. I'm a secondary DLS.
Yes, and all-around Canvas magician. So just know that and be there. You don't like those compliments? It's okay. We'll keep it going. All right. So to start off, because we do have some demonstrations, Trista has some pretty cool pieces that she wants to share with us today. But I did want to start off this webinar by just opening it up to some discussion of, as you've been using Canvas in this online learning, distance learning scenario, what has surprised you about your experience so far? So what are some things that you've come across that have either been a challenge or that have been happy accidents, things that you have been really just excited or pumped about when it comes to using Canvas? So feel free just to either raise your hand or unmute your microphone and just start jumping in.
Okay, I'll bite. Okay, so I teach 4th grade at Foster Village Elementary, and we've been using Canvas. I feel like our students have a really easy time figuring out what to do because of the way we've set it up. We have converted all of our lessons into quizzes, and I love it because then we can make them either write an essay question, multiple choice question. We're really having fun with some of the questions that we can set up. And I feel like they're engaged a lot more. So that's been very surprising. So we've really enjoyed using Canvas opposed to our experiences with Google Classroom with this specific group before. So there's my 2 cents.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, Taylor has left, so he's left me in charge. So anybody else have anything to say about your experience with Canvas? I'm looking for someone to move to the mic. Go ahead, you unmute yourself.
Karen Callis, Birdville High School. We've been using Canvas all year, so I was a little bit surprised that a couple of my students had all of a sudden had amnesia about how to use it when we went to the online learning thing. But Trista, thank you so much for the template. I had been using Canvas for quite a while now, and your template was really a good way to move me into modules, because I really had wanted to. I've done that kind of happenstance, but you had everything set up in a really logical way, because I think Canvas, the difficult part with Canvas is not so much the actual intricacies of building and doing it. It's wrapping your head around how do you want it to look and how do you want everything set up. And once you have that framework in your mind of how you want it set up, it's not so bad. And your template was a really good way for at least for my classes, to wrap my head around that. The thing that I wanted to know more about today is I really liked, I want to get into using Canvas totally for grading, but some things I don't have an actual submission for, and I have some questions about the grading with that, etc. And I think I've got my head wrapped around it, but I want to hear your expertise on that today so that you can give some ideas. So thank you.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, the template's great because I think it just helps to, you can see the vision kind of thing, and then you can build from there. And we're going to change a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Because we kind of threw that together. So there's different ways and better ways it can be set up as well. So, and we'll talk about the no submission thing too towards the end if you like. All right, does anybody else have anything else they want to share? Either what's worked for you or something that you wish it could do that maybe it does and you just don't know it. If not, we can jump into some demonstrations. If you guys don't have anything else to add, just let me know.
I'll speak as from a coach. My name is Judy Cassidy. I'm an elementary K through 5 coach. And I like the fact that we have everything in one place so that we can help our teachers and support. And we don't have to have them going and looking all over the place, but it gives a direct location for our teachers to find things and for us to help them through that. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits that we've done, that everybody knows where to go. So thank y'all for that.
Oh, no problem. Great. All right. Anybody have anything else? All right. So this is the first time I've run one of these things. So I'm going to just show you something I turned it on today. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. Okay. Can everybody see it? I'm assuming. Okay. So if you do a lesson or an assignment in Canvas, they have this really cool thing that your students will see. You don't have to do anything, but if you have an assignment, so I'm going to do a student, and I have an assignment that I've made here called Celebration. So the only caveat to this is that you have to have a due date. So basically they're going to get a little celebration for turning in something on time, which is kind of cool. So I have my assignment and then I'm going to turn it in. Why is it not letting me? Hold on a second. Sorry. Not sure why that's not working. I set it up and now it's not going to work. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Well, I did something wrong on here. Not sure what. Oh, I have it on no submission, like she had said. So I have to have it on an online submission. Sorry. All right, so now I'm going to do the assignment. And so I'm going to, when your kids have their assignment, this is how it looks. I'm going to do submit assignment, and then I'm going to turn it in. And when I hit submit, I get a little celebration. So it's just kind of a cool thing for the kids. So it has to be an on-time assignment. You don't have to do anything. It just has to have a due date. And once they turn it in, they just get a little celebration. And it changes, like the little pictures. There's confetti, there's a ninja, there's a panda, there's a birthday cake. It's kind of random. So it's kind of a cool thing for the kids to see. All right. Okay, so I have a list here of things that we're going to talk about. It's HTML editing, the redirect tool, prerequisites for modules. I just did the celebration. The new analytics, so you can see analytics, and then message students who. So anybody have a preference on what you want to talk about first? Just go on.
Can you run through that list again? Because that was pretty fast.
I'm sorry, I talk really quickly. HTML embedding, so it's where you can use the HTML on the other side to put in more formatting. The redirect tool, which is how you can put something over on that sidebar where it says home modules. Setting up prerequisites for modules, so making the kids have to do certain things in order to move forward. Analytics, which is so you can kind of see how kids are progressing through your course, and then messaging students for particular reasons. And I can show you all of them. I just didn't know if you had a preference of what you guys wanted to see. How about we do, you guys want to do the message students who prerequisites? Someone said it. Okay. So whenever you have modules, and I can show you kind of on this one. So this is the badging. If you guys don't know yet, on this one, when you sign up, when you do things, you can do badging. So basically what you do when you have your module set up here, so over here, when you click the 3 buttons, you go to edit. So in your module, you might have assignments, quizzes, and you want them to go in through in a specific order. So you can add a prerequisite, which means I have to do module 1 before I do module 2. So if you're on asynchronous and you have unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, the kids can't move on to unit 3 until they've completed 1 and 2, right? So all you would do is you do your prerequisites, and then you would set your module as the one before, right? So right now my module before is home, so they would have to do home first before they added the next one. And then you continually add them as you like. So that's just a prereq. Requirements means that you can have it to where the kids have to complete everything in that module, right? You can set it to where they have to do it in a sequential order, so they can't just bounce around. So maybe your first one is, you know, just the mini lesson, and the second one is a demonstration, and the third one is a quiz. Like they have to do one before they go to the other one. That would be right here on the sequential. And then you can also do where they have to do something specific. So I have that they have to complete one of these requirements. So this is a discussion, and I'm saying that the kids have to contribute to the page, but you can also do, maybe they just have to view the item. And then once you're done, up here, like I've got it complete one item, because right now we just want you to complete the discussion in order to get the badge. But you could have it to complete every single item in that module before they do anything. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? If I go too fast, let me know. You kind of just have to mess around with it. And the beauty of Canvas, just in case you don't know about this, and I'm sure you guys do, whenever you're building stuff, just always use that student view, so that way you can see it exactly the way your students see it. The only thing that you can't do is there's certain, like, you know, grades and things you might not see the same way, but it shows you exactly what they see, and you can see, you know, things that you've missed or things that you've published. All right. So if you guys have anything else specific, just throw it in the chat. If not, I'm just going to go on to the next one. The next one is called New Analytics, which is kind of cool. Over here on the right-hand side, you've got all these choices. If you go to New Analytics, it's kind of neat because it'll show you exactly how much time a student has spent in your course. So if I go here to weekly online activity, right, it kind of just shows you average page views. It'll show you what resources you have in there, and then like how many students, how many people have watched the, you know, looked at the page. The one that I like is here on students. So I can see that Shauna Adkins, who's enrolled in this course, she last participated on this. If we had assignments, it would tell me what percentage she turned her assignments in on time. It'll tell her how many page views she's had. So you can just kind of get a basic overview. Like if a kid's like, oh, I've been in Canvas, you know, all week last week, you can see, no, you haven't been in it since, you know, April 1st. So it gives you an idea of that. And then you can search for a specific student if you want and see exactly what they've done. It's just kind of a cool overall view of your entire course and how kids are reacting and what they're looking at. There's a lot more in-depth things you can do, but it's just the basic as far as looking at your course. All right. Any questions on that? Good. I see, Debbie, are you reaching for your mic? Oh, okay. Let's see. So Andrew's asking, with prerequisites, sequential order, does each activity have to be on a different page, or do they have to complete everything to put on the page in order? So there, it's a page. So if you have a page, an assignment, a quiz, so it's each item they have to be completed is what she's asking. Oh, I like Heather's. I used analytics yesterday to screenshot a report to a parent because our child lied and said they had been in Canvas turning in assignments. See, it's a really good way to keep on them. And then, you know, they know that it's there. So maybe it'll curb that. They know that you're watching kind of thing on there. All right, so how about the redirect tool over here? If you guys don't know, in your own courses, when you're in here as a teacher, this settings button gives you a little bit of control of what you do. I think we talked about it in the template. So you've got your course details, which you don't have a lot of control over. The sections where you can add different sections of your class and put people in there. Navigation is where you see over here where these are all blanked out. That means the students can't see it, so you can drag up to make them visible. but I'm going to show you how to add something on this side. So let's say you have an online textbook or something that the kids go to all the time, but it's not something that you necessarily want to have like embedded in Pages. You want to be able to get to it all the time. So if you come over here to apps, these are applications that are installed. So if you just do, it's called redirect, right? So you just type in redirect, and then it comes up with this little arrow, right? So you go ahead and click it. And then once you're on there, it says it's already installed, but you're gonna go to here where it says add app. So basically what you're doing, you're adding a hyperlink. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna name this online textbook. And then you put the URL to that textbook. So for whatever reason, I always use CNN.com as my redirect. Not sure why. That's probably not going to work very well. Actually, let's do Birdville. Just make it easy. So we'll put that URL. So you would paste in the URL of your online textbook. And then right here, it's going to force it open as an external link. So it's going to be a new window. And then you want to be show in course navigation. So you want to click that. And then I'm going to hit add app. Well, I guess it doesn't like all this stuff on the edge. Well, that's unfortunate. Not sure why that's not working. That is so strange. Okay, well, we'll have to come back to that. I'm not sure why that's not working, so I apologize for that. But what it will do when it's working, so you can maybe try it on your own, is that once you add that, which I'm not sure why it's not working, but once you add that, when you come over here to navigation, it'll show up down here. So it would say online textbook, and then I would click and drag it up here, and then it'll show up here on the side. And so the kids would see it and they can just click it to get on it. But I'm not sure why it's not working, so I apologize for that. So, all right. So anything else? You guys have any questions? Something that you want to do? I know you had asked me about the online submission and no submission. You want to talk about that a little bit? No. I can't unmute you.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. Right now we're building portfolios in one of the classes that I have, and they're doing that in Google Sites. And so I had them, when they first started that, they went to the page for the view page of their Google Sites, and they submitted that to me in a Google form so that I could just go in each week and look, and they don't have to keep, submitting that to me. And so each week in Canvas, there's a different portfolio page that they have to make. And so each week in Canvas, I put that as their assignment, and I build that in an assignment page, but there's no submission. What is the best, so I go in and to grade that, right now all we're doing is the incomplete, complete, I believe we have it set like that, and then the 0 or the 1 point or whatever. So it just seems kind of, I don't know, is there a better way to do that when you have an assignment that's not actually something that's submitted in Canvas? I guess it seems kind of weird. Right now, I'm not putting my grades from Canvas, I'm not submitting them to Skyward that way. And so I guess when we come back to normal school, and I have an assignment that's built for X number of points or whatever, I can see how that will help. But right now it just seems like an extra step to go into Canvas and have to like type in my comments for each, page that we do. However, I do like it that if I build an assignment in Canvas, then the kids see it on their to-do list. So give me some ways, or talk to me about a better way to do that, or how I might want to, wrap my mind around that.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on what, if it's an ongoing thing, like a portfolio, that might be where they just share the link with you and you can just go in and view it every time. The good thing about Canvas, like you said, is I think it gives them that to do, like this assignment is due here. And then if they turn it in on that text submission, you can just click it and get to it through the speed grader. So to me, that's a little bit quicker too, for you to get to it as a teacher, and then because they can send the link to that specific page. So I really think that's the way that you have it set up is probably the best way, in my opinion, just because it gives them that to-do date, and then you can just click on it to get to it. And you can always save the site, so that you can view it at any time. So I really don't know if there would be a better way to do that, to be honest with you. Canvas does have a portfolio feature, but it's not that great. I can shoot you an email about that later if you want to talk about it, because I'd have to investigate, but it does have a portfolio feature on it. The kids can create portfolios through Canvas as well. But I did have something that I didn't show you guys. You can send email messages to students and put them in groups. Does anybody know about that? How you can message certain students? So if you're looking at grades here, I don't have any grades in here, obviously, because it's just my test class. But let's say I've got this week 3 lesson 1 submission. And if I click here, I can go, so there's the 3 dots, and I can do message students who. And when I click that, I can message students who haven't been graded. So maybe they've turned it in and I haven't graded it yet, and I want to shoot them a message and say, hey, I'm so sorry I haven't graded it yet, but give me another week. You can do who scored less than a certain amount or scored more than a certain amount. This does not have a due date on it. If it has a due date, it'll say students who have not submitted, so students that are late. So instead of going through and finding each one of those kids, I can just shoot a message to all of the kids that fall within that criteria, and then it would shoot them a message saying, hey, you all haven't turned in your assignment yet. So it's nice. Yes, okay. We clicked on the edit drop down. I'm going to change the prerequisites. All right. So I'll answer that question in a second. Cindy, did anybody have questions about the message students who? I don't want to move on too fast. It's just a cool feature to make it quick, because you can just go over your grade book real quick and say, hey, I've got 10 students that haven't turned this in and I want to get that out to them. Okay, someone asked me about, yes.
Can the students fire back a message on that if they have a question, or do they have to go another route?
It's an email, so I'm assuming that they can, because it goes out to mass students, but it's like a blind copy. So it comes to that student. So yeah, there should be communication back and forth. Yes. Okay, so for the modules, so if I'm here in my modules and I want to set up my prerequisites, so if I come here to the 3 dots and I click edit, then this should pop up. Cindy, did you see that? And then I can lock.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I see it now. I was actually clicking on the 3 dots for each lesson.
Oh, okay.
For at the very top right for the whole week.
Gotcha. Yeah, takes a while sometimes to figure out where things are.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Definitely. All right, let's see what else we got here. What about, does anybody know HTML? When I say that, do you know what that means? So it's like hypertext something, it's computer language. So when you're on a page, just to kind of show you, so here's my page, right, from the template, and then when I edit it, and this is on every page that you have. So this is called your rich text editor, which means that I can just click and type, right? And these are images that have been added. But over here on the right, it's basically going to take this information and translate it or show you what it looks like in computer language. So when I click this, it looks really crazy. So I'm not going to explain to you what all of this means. You kind of have to kind of decipher it. But if you want to embed something, and you go to a website, like let's say, let's do this real quick, just because I know it's here. Flipgrid. If anybody uses Flipgrid, when you're on a grid and I want to share it, right here you get this embed code, right? So I can share the link, but I can get this embed code right here. So I just copy it, right? And a lot of sites that you're on, if you're like on a Quizlet or Flipgrid, if you're doing anything that's got some sort of widget type thing, a lot of them have embed codes. If I come back here and I'm just going to embed it, I'm going to go to the very, very bottom. So where my cursor is, I'm just going to enter and I'm just going to paste it. And then when I hit save, it puts it down here at the bottom. So put in my Flipgrid. But you have to do that inside the HTML. Because if I add it here without the HTML, it's just putting in the text, if that makes sense. So it's just a way for you to put in things like YouTube videos. You can get the embed code and put them here in this HTML editor. So,
Trista,
yes, ma'am.
I have a question on that. What is the advantage of doing it that way? Can't you go to the insert edit media and go to the embed? That's how I usually do it, because I'm not a huge HTML person, because you have to dig through that so much.
Yeah.
What is the difference between doing it the way you showed us versus going to insert media, and then there's that embed code link there where you can put that in? Insert media is the second one on the button right there. Yeah, that one. And see, there's the embed code thing there.
Well, let's try it and see.
That's the way I've done it, and it comes up the same way as yours.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it just kind of depends. This is kind of a higher level feature. You have a little bit more control. You can write your own code, not write your own, but you could find code from somewhere that maybe doesn't translate into that. So you can absolutely do it that way, and nothing is going to be different. This just is an option if you maybe want to be a little bit fancier or change some things. You have a little bit more control. So a lot of people just don't even know what that is and what it does. So yeah, you can definitely keep on doing what you're doing. That's just kind of another option. So just kind of wanted to show that, but that's a great question though. All right. Anything else I can show you guys? I mean, there's so much to show you, but it's kind of like to know what things maybe you want it to do, or things that you wish it would do, or I don't know, how it could make your life easier. I feel like Taylor would be having a story right now. Let's see. So are you guys, are you finding that the kids like Canvas, or are they fighting against it? I mean, what has been their attitude about having to use this system? Because I know a lot of teachers haven't been using it in the past.
Trista, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the beginning, I know a lot of teachers had students sending pictures through email or Remind or things like that with evidence of work. Is there a good way to get those from email and put them into Canvas? What's the best way to do that?
I would say that if you're having kids submit pictures, the easiest way, and this might not answer your question, the easiest way is for them to use the Canvas app. Just because everything's on their phone, like if they're using the phone, to me, that's the easiest way. If it's on an email, you would have to download it and then, upload it back into the actual course. But I would say that if they have a mobile device of any type, iPad or whatever, the student app is going to be the easiest way for them to to get you any kind of media, to be honest. And for teachers, if you're not using the Canvas app, I recommend, especially if you're going to be using this next year, it's easy to do the grading and be able to annotate and things like that if you're using your telephone or any kind of a mobile device. So if you haven't done the app yet, I would recommend downloading it and checking it out, because it's really easy just to be sitting there and flip through the kids' submissions and type or add something. And it's, to me, it works a lot better than using it on the computer. That's just my personal opinion. You can't do as much on it as far as creating, but as far as grading and viewing their stuff, it's definitely a lot easier, I think. Not sure if that answers your question, but.
Oh, it does. And I like the app a lot better too. It was really helpful for some kids that were trying to take pictures on their phone and then get them from their phone to their computer so they could put it on Canvas and that whole thing. So the app was really helpful. One thing that we tried, and I just want to know if this is the best way to do it, but we were going into grades and using the speed grader and then attaching their pictures under the comments for each assignment. Is that the best way to upload their pictures if you have them as a teacher? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, probably. I haven't dealt with that as far as the teacher uploading for the students.
Okay.
But I imagine that's probably the quickest way, because if you've got them all on your computer, that way you can attach them and they can see them on the on their assignment.
Okay.
All right. So I see. Will we be able to award badges to our students in the future? Yes. The badges, I can kind of run through it for you a little bit just to kind of show you. It's a little bit of a process, so it would kind of be difficult for me to go through it and for you to get everything from it, but I can definitely show you the way that it works. So the badges are based on modules. So you cannot award a badge for completing one assignment. So they have to complete a module. So if you're wanting to do badging, even if they have one thing, it has to be inside that module. So I'll show you the innovative learning devices, which we have. So each webinar is its own module, right? And if you notice, I have this one on the bottom that says submit badge evidence. So the way that it works is that you would make a module. Sorry, I can't, my screen is messing with me. Okay, so I'm going to do this module right here, the home. So when you're in the module, if you click the plus button and then you do add, it's going to be external tool down here. So you do external tool and then you select Badger. And then it does everything for you. It does the URL. You don't have to change that. You can change the name to whatever you want, and then you hit add item. So what you have to do though is you have to go to Badger, like do a web search, do a web search for Badger. You have to create an account, okay? Once you create an account, when you come over here, you'll have this badge on the side. If you click badges, if this is your course, it's going to be down here on the bottom. You're going to have something that says select issuer. So you have to log in with that account that you did outside of Canvas, right? So step one is you go to Badger, find it on Google, make an account. And then when you come back to Canvas, it'll say select issuer, and then you sign in. So then you can create your badges that way. Then when you're inside the module, basically you have to have it set up to complete. So you have to do the prerequisites, whether it's, complete the entire module. So here we have it set up that they have to complete one item. So once you guys contribute to the discussion, then you get the badge. Does that answer your question? It's, like I said, it's a little bit lengthy, and I can definitely walk you through that if you like. We don't have enough time to do it because it's kind of a process, but that's the step. You set up the account on the internet, then you add yourself as the issuer, and then, like I said, inside the module, you do the plus, and then add external tool, and then do Badger, like that. The other thing I'll tell you, if you notice, I don't have it published. right? Because when you're in a module, you know how you hit next and it goes next and it goes to the next. If I have this published, when they hit the next on this, like if I try to go to the page, it'll say can't find valid settings for this link, because it's not really something that the students go to. It's just something that happens in the background. So you have to make sure that the badge site is unpublished. Otherwise the kids will just get an error and then be confused. Does that help, Cindy? I know it's a lot of information. Awesome.
I had a quick question about grades.
Yes, ma'am.
So since they're due Sunday night, and a lot of teachers have asked, they can't see them in the grades, and since it's not due until Sunday, is there a way to, without changing the date, is there something else they can do?
Well, I think that happened because it's not going to happen anymore, I don't believe. It's because the Canvas has set term dates, because it's 5th 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So when they changed it to Sunday, that made it so that it was after the term. So the solution to that was either to change it back to Friday in Canvas and then let the kids know, even though it says it's late, it's really not. So that way it shows up in the term, or they have to look at all of the terms at the same time. Do you know how to do that in the grades?
Yes, well, I'm an academic coach, but when they've looked at it, like we've done some Zoom and like screen sharing, and when they pulled it up to look at previous, it wasn't showing it. It didn't look the same as it was in Gradebook, like where they could see all the students. It was a different format.
Gotcha. And it could be, that might be something we'd have to sit and I'd have to look and see, because depending on how they have their view set up and what things they have and how they have assignments. Because the problem is if they have an assignment that has a due date, but it's not in a module, it still shows up. So there's been a lot of that.
Okay.
I think that's an issue too, because with the template, we had all the due dates set. And so that kind of created some issues as well, I think, is probably one of the problems.
Okay.
But if you have something specific, you can reach out to me and we can definitely look at it and see how that works. All right. All right. Anything else that I can show you guys? I'm trying to think if there's
Trista, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're editing a lesson, is there any way to make the window bigger than what you have to work in? Because it's really small.
Yes.
And a little cumbersome. And I was wondering if that was like that right there. Can you make that window bigger?
Yeah, so right here, underneath the words, there's this little arrow. So you can pull it.
Nice.
And make it bigger. Yeah. Yeah. I will show you something. So this is our rich content editor. So anybody, the cool thing is if you guys come here to settings, and then you have feature options. So the district turns on things that are universal to everybody, right? So if you notice on here, Learning Mastery Gradebook, it's on for the district, no matter what, like you don't have a choice, right? But then you've got Student Learning Mastery Gradebook, it's turned on, but you as a teacher can turn that on in this course instance or not. So on this one, let's see, right here where it says RCE enhancements, there's a new rich content editor. It looks a little bit different. So if you wanted for the course to turn it on, and it's per course, so you'd have to go into each one of your courses and do it, but anything that has this little flip button, you have the ability to turn on or to turn off in your course. So like here, it's got RCE autosave. Like right now I have it turned off, but if I turned it on, then that would mean that when I'm working in that rich content editor and doing assignments and editing, it doesn't autosave, so wouldn't go away if I accidentally X'd out of it. Does that make sense? So you have the control over these things. And again, if you do it in this course, and then you've got another course and you don't do it, it's not going to be, it has to be per course. So you can test it out and see what that does. So here, the RCE enhancements, I'll kind of show you. So if you look at my rich content editor, so kind of look at the way that it looks here, right? So just kind of notice a few things. I'm going to go in and change it. So I'm going to go to feature options and I'm going to turn the enhancements on. And then I'm going to go back. And then now you see how it's different. So it's a little bit more streamlined. Things are in different places, like the HTML editor is down here at the bottom. You have an on-screen keyboard, so here's where you go to drag it down. So we didn't turn this on for the district universally because we didn't want people to freak out when they saw it and be like, it looks so different. Like that insert media is at a different place. I think it's here, or maybe it's here. I'm not even sure where it is. You kind of have to look for it. I mean, it's different. I think at one point it's going to go to this automatically, but right now you have the option to kind of turn it on or turn it off in your course if you want. So that's a little something just to kind of show you that you have that control over your own course to a certain extent on any of these things. So. All right, we got about 4 minutes left. Anything else that you guys want to know, or and then just to say, if there's something specific that you need, like you feel like you want, more in depth, you could reach out, shoot me an email or whatever, and we can walk through. Like if you want to do the badging, we can definitely help you with that. It's kind of a little bit of a process. So. Taylor's back. Hi, Taylor. You get to talk now.
I apologize. We had just a lunch emergency had to take care of. When you've got a 2.5-week-old, things just go by the wayside. So apologize for that, but I've been listening in the background and Trista has been rocking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Trista, I'll give a commercial for you.
sure.
At high school, we have resistance once in a while from students. I know that's hard to imagine, but it's really easy to talk to them about using Canvas because a lot of the major universities around us have gone to using the Canvas platform. And when we, that's how I sell it every day is, guys, we've got to learn this and you've got to learn how to use it because when you get to college, this is what's going to happen. And that's one comfort level that they'll have going on to a university, Blackboard or Canvas, or that's what it's going to be. And it'll just help them so much. And I've had students come back and say, hey, we knew what to do. And so, thanks for getting us on board. And I'm going to keep shooting lots of questions your way because I have a lot to learn. But, it is something that we need to be familiarizing our students with.
Yeah, that's a good skill to learn something new anyways, right? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming. I mean, hopefully it was helpful. And like I said, you can always reach out to us if you have questions. We're learning as well, so.
And the one thing I'm going to just jump in at the end here is you've been seeing elements of the Innovative Learning Bites Kitchen Canvas course there. If you've not joined that already, we will get that link here into the chat. Trista, can you do that real quick since you're already there?
Yes.
Get the enrollment there. It's also, the link is also on the upcoming events on the homepage of the BISD hub as well. So you can join the Canvas course there, but then you can earn those badges that Trista was teaching us all about. You can go back and watch the recordings of previous webinars that we have done and see the schedule of what's to come next week. So next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are going to have 3 more amazing webinars from our Birdville Nest digital learning team. And so thank you all so much for this. Thank you to Trista, who has done an incredible job. And we are going to be able to get, there we go. So the link there, you can copy and paste that link in the chat. But we're going to just keep supporting you all in whatever you need. So reach out to your digital learning specialist, reach out to any of us. We're happy to help in all of your online and distance learning stuff. So thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this innovative learning bite. Remember, if you want to connect with us, you can reach out over social media, Facebook and Twitter, or if you're a Birdville employee, please remember to join the Innovative Learning Bites Kitchen on Canvas. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.